Hello everyone, welcome to today's video, where today we're going to be taking a look at the new Marvel Legends X-Men 97 2-packs. I figured, I already had them out and I was playing with them a little bit just to look at them. So I figured we'd just look at the packaging first. And packaging's pretty much the same, except you get the looks of the characters on both sides. And then you get, obviously you get the figures on the back. You get the cross cells, and then, yeah, they're okay boxes. You get the same exact logo at the top, all the legal bullshit, and all that stuff, so, I think these are the only two of these packs I'm getting. I don't think I'm gonna get the Rogue and Gambit one, although I do kind of want that Rogue figure. The Gambit is just so bad, so we'll see. But yeah, we'll, start off with the 2-pack I wanted less, just because this is the 2-pack I wanted less, and we'll start out with the character I wanted less. I mean, this is not my favorite look for Jean Grey, and, I mean, I like the classics, but it's just not my favorite look, and I know that the action figure is not very, like, mobile, so, you know, I knew kind of that it wasn't going to be the best figure, so I was also kind of hampered how I felt. And plus I have the Mafex, that's already a pretty nice figure. Not perfect, but it'll get better poses on the shelf than this. So I don't know, I'm hopping in a little, you know, fast already, but I don't know if that's going to beat this figure for me. Aesthetically, I don't know. I really like this figure. I wish if Marvel Legends tackled this and gave it the new hyper articulated body, then I might replace her with that one. But as it goes, I think this one is not going to go on the shelf, at least on the main shelf. But this one will probably get replaced by the Phoenix, because Phoenix is better, but most of my shelf display is made up by Marvel Legends at this point, so, you know, they just look better together, so we'll see. I don't really know. Yeah, so she looks great, though. The face looks awesome. The face printing looks amazing on both heads, because you can actually get two heads with her. They both look really nice. I like them both. It would have been nice to maybe get, like, an unmasked Jean Grey head, because we could always use more red head, like, unmasked heads. I could have taken that head and put it on, you know, on Goblin Queen, or, actually, maybe not Goblin Queen, but could have gone with, like, maybe put her on this Jean Grey, you know, something. Who knows? But, those heads are very nice, and then for other accessories, you get just the standard female power wielding hands, which are nice for Jean. I'll probably put those on there, and then with the new articulation setup, compared to the old look, you know, the old figure of this look, you get the hands up there to look, and then you get like these power effects, which tried and true. They just slip on around the wrists. You can put them however you want. This is how I usually kind of put them, you know, wrap it around there like that. But, yeah, so. This is just a pinless update of the old. I think the old one was pinned. This one has got pinless limbs. Obviously, this is good to get because they did this look in the show, so. But you got the pinless limbs, you got the eye swivel. I already showed you that the limbs can get good up there. You got a hinge up there. You're not going to get a lot of movement because of the long hair, and then you can arc back that far you get some gappage. You can go about that far forward. You can get some okay tilt and twist out of it. So, not the most articulated, because, look, this side, that's all you're getting. This side, you get a little more. It will create stress marks on the green. But yeah, this side has a cutout, this side does not. So I'll probably cut this side out. Because while this will not be my main display piece like Jean, it still is a figure that I wanted. Like, I did want it, I just didn't want it as much as the other ones. But, yeah. And then for this 2-pack, this is the star of this 2-pack for me. This is the look for Cyclops. We needed an update for it for so long, and I'm glad to say it honestly does not disappoint. It's a very nice 2-pack. It's very, very serviceable for the character, for this look of the character, for, you know, Scott. It's a really good Scott figure, and I'm glad to have the Scott figure because, as you may know, Scott is my favorite X-Men. So, first things first, it's on the same body that this one's on. This one has some sculpting, but for the most part, it's the same body. It's the Vulcan body, so it's the same base body, just with different tweaks here and there from this body. So they look like the same character, which is good because they are the same character. They used the same blue, which I like because that means if you really wanted to, you could pop this head on here. And I might end up doing that because that's always the thing. I prefer this look, the classic Scott, but I also always like the sash of that one. So, you know, I'm kind of cool with that. This doesn't work as well. There's not enough yellow for me, but this does work. And I think that will probably be what I end up doing. But I just figured we'd look at that. I have a couple other head swaps we can try out in a second too, but yeah. This is just, yeah, like I said, this is the old Vulcan body. You get the, you know, butterfly joints, hinge up there. You get a little tiltage out of it. Ab crunch. You know, all the good stuff with this body. Jointed knees, boot swivel. Some parts of this guy do feel a little gummy. I don't know why they all kind of feel a little bit like that. It could just be the cold. Maybe they came from a hot truck and then got put out in the cold. And then another thing I'll say about this figure is you can't heighten that belt. So he doesn't have it, because they have it slung really low in the, you know, in the shots. And I don't really like that. For this look, I want the belt up high. That's how I have my... Actually, no, it's not, because it's too high on the Mezco. I also have the Mezco version of the suit, because I do like the suit. But, yeah. I also like that's translucent plastic. I like that. I would prefer painted yellow or painted red, but, you know, I think this way it keeps it from doing the thing that this one does. So, that is cool to have. And for accessories, you get a pair of hands. You just get one relaxed hand and then a shoot visor blast hand, which is fine. I wish you got 2 open hands like every other Vulcan body mold, but you don't. You do finally get an inverse. This hand can go there, and then you have the same kind of hand, which is nice. It's nice to have a little bit more, you know, variability. And then you get the alternate head, which is an angry head with a slot in it, so you could pull out the blast effect. So for the blast effect, I think it goes like, okay, you go, detail goes down, and then you can use it like that, or you can plug in this part, which I actually don't know how that one works. Oh, okay. So there's a slot there, because I haven't gotten the Nemesis Wave one yet. There's a slot in there that you can go like that with, I think. It doesn't want to plug in, though, isn't? Okay. Push a little harder if you're having trouble, and then it's like that. So that just goes on the body pretty well, I'm assuming. Yeah. Cool. And I do kind of wish it came with a smaller blast effect, but you can take this head and put this one on there if you wanted to, because it's X-Men 97. So, but what I wanted to try is see if this blast effect will fit into this head. This doesn't fit in there, but if you wanted to shove a little blue tack down in there, you could totally, for like this direction, you could totally do that. And then we'll look, maybe this one will fit in here. Same thing, that one fits in there a little better, but, you know, not horrible. So yeah, it's nice to have. Nice to have these blast effects finally getting some love for Scott. And then the last head swap I wanted to try for Scott, because I don't really have that many Cyclops heads. This is the Mezco, and I tried the Mezco, like, actual visor head, but there's no point in that, because the blues don't even match, and this is the same costume, so... This one, yeah, it's high. It is high. It doesn't seem that high on... Because I often use that on this body. And it doesn't seem quite as high or out of proportion. Maybe it's because of the collar, and I always put it in like a pose when I have it. But yeah, so that one's not going to work that well. So, worth a shot though. That's the wrong figure. Here's the right figure. So yeah, this is probably I'd say out of the 3 Cyclopses, I'd say these are probably the 3 best Cyclopses money can buy. Until Amazing Yamaguchi puts out one. And that one X Factor Cyclops from, out of these, like, classic Cyclops looks. But I think the X Factor Mafex looks pretty cool. It's just the Jim Lee Mafex does not look good to me. And he's, like, got a squanch torso that's not very good looking. And so, yeah. For size comparisons, we'll get them. Well, we'll wait till the end for size comparisons. We'll do size comparisons between the 2 packs and then some other figures I have here. And then, so here's the other, this is the more desirable 2-pack to me. And here's the less desirable one from this 2-pack for me. Mostly because I already have a really good Storm. It's not the color I like, it's the white Storm, not the black Storm. So this is nice. This is probably her best costume. Not the easiest to get standing, mind you. She does not want to stand. Probably just going to hold her this whole time because she does not want to stand. But this is her best look, probably. This is like that first appearance Storm look. And this is an update to the older Marvel Legends figure. If you wanted to go that route with her. I think she looks really nice. Got the crown there. The cape is not cloth, it's a plastic. This is the same type of thing they did with the other one. Sorry, my cat was crying at the door. I had to let him in. And as I was saying, it's not like this is a bad character or a bad figure or anything like that. It's just that, like I said, I had a predisposition because I was predisposed because I have the Mafex, which is a really great figure. It's just not the proper color, and I hope that Mafex releases the White Storm in black colors one day. Or this figure, or this, like, version, this costume. This would be, honestly, the one I'd want more, but they seem to be in their 90s. They really like the 90s stuff, so I don't think we're ever going to get around to these characters and these looks, at least not in my lifetime. But, yeah, she looks great. She's got all the gold, which is nice. You got, well, it's really just that. I thought she had more gold. I low-key thought she had, like, gold loops down here. I might be remembering wrong. It's probably the yellow carrying down on me, seeing that and thinking that. You got the yellow line, which is, for the most part, pretty well painted. It's just a little bit thinner in spots, where you can see a little bit of the black coming through. But it's definitely not bad. And then since this is such a glossy black, this will pick up fingerprints like a motherfucker. But, you know, that's kind of what you risk when you go with plastic instead of cloth and all that. So, I really like this figure. And she's got pretty good articulation, honestly. She got, you know, got good head. You got the bicep. Arms can go to there. You got, like I said, bicep swivel. You got double jointed elbows. Wrist hinges. Torso is really not that good. You can go about there. That's about all you get. This is that old female torso setup, so it's not great. The legs aren't bad. At least on the ball. They're not bad on the ball. And then they have thigh swivel. My issue is they are like old figure. This is as they're pinless, yes. This is the length they go. Yeah, maybe you don't need her legs all the way up, but it'd be nice to get this is Star Wars Black Series level articulation on the legs. Like maybe a little better because there's thigh swivel or upper thigh swivel, but yeah, that's really disappointing. And then you get these are heels, so you're not going to get the most rocker, but you get a little hinge back and then hinge forward. So yeah, she's the less desirable one out of this 2-pack for me. Only because this is the best Wolverine costume. This is my favorite Wolverine costume of all time. And I think they did a really pretty good job visually with this guy. It's a little bit of a lighter brown than I usually think of. Honestly, the brown varies from piece to piece. This is the brown that's mostly on it. I feel like maybe it's the way the light's hitting it. Maybe the whole thing is actually this shade. But I feel like from where I see, this is a little darker, and this is kind of the shade of brown I'd want. So my thing is, I really want the Mafex, but the Mafex it just avoids me. Like, it just it's in my grasp, and then it gets away. It's really hard to find for really cheap, even with the reissue. So, and I feel bad if I were to buy the CT Toys, because I don't really like supporting that, bootlegs and stuff. So if I can get official version, I will. And third party and bootleg are different. Let me say that. The CT Toys is just taking the sculpt from Mafex and ripping it off. But yeah, like I said, the CT Toys just ripping off the sculpts from a company that already did it, and I don't jive with that. That's not third party, that's just bootleg. And you can be the person all you want that's like, oh, the CT Toys is better than the Mafex. Maybe. They're still ripping off other people's work. Like, for example, the CT Toys, what is it? The Anti-Venom. That is different technically than the Anti-Venoms, or the Agent Venom. The Agent Anti-Venom is technically a different figure, but really not. Is it really? I mean, it kind of is. They're different parts, but they're still kind of stealing the base sculpt. But I'd have an easier time getting that and, convincing myself this isn't as bad than I would with the Wolverine or the Helverine, because they blatantly stole artwork for that Helverine figure. I don't have too bad of a time feeling too bad if they steal from a big mass company like Disney or Marvel or DC. But when you're stealing from artists, man, you just need to reevaluate yourself. I'm talking to you AI people. Okay, so yeah, this figure looks great. It looks a lot better than the Secret Wars Wolverine, which I am glad that they did give us this so soon after the Secret Wars, because that Secret Wars, I feel like they would think, oh, this is good enough, people will want this instead. No, we get this. I would prefer, the reverse ab crunch with the upper dumbbell joint, but we still have the old torso, and it does give good crunch. I will give them that. It still is not bad. It's not bad. It doesn't quite hold up to 2025 standards, I feel like, but honestly, it's still the best Wolverine body. At least size-wise and aesthetics. Maybe not articulation, but it's still the best sized Wolverine. And it's even technically a little bit large for Wolverine. So, yeah. He looks great. It's just the same Wolverine body. You get butterfly joints that can go to there. They're a little stuck. I think it's because it's so cold out today. Or at least when this was shipped. And then you got just the normal head, not really get enough clearance for tilt. Get all the crunchies, you get the legs. And this is my first pinless Wolverine, I think. Fully pinless, at least. I have the Logan Sabretooth 2-pack, and the arms are pinless on that one, but the legs aren't. This one's fully pinless, and it's my first fully pinless Wolverine, and I'm glad to have him. He's a little bit mid for a pinless Wolverine. I feel like the skin tone's a little weird, and the plastic doesn't quite line up piece to piece, but I have such a soft spot for this version of the suit that I'm gonna give it a pass anyway. I do like the figure. I like that the hair's painted on there. You have the correct no shoulder pads look, and that head sculpt is really nice. I just kind of wish he came with a non-angry head sculpt. I know that's weird to say for Wolverine, but yeah. Sorry, I have to keep pausing the recording because my cat's wreaking havoc right now. He's being a little ornery brat. So, for accessories, Storm gets she gets the alternate wind blowy cape, which looks nice. This will probably be what I use on the shelf because I'll have her in a flying pose. That does look really nice. And then you get the head to go with that, which looks really good. I don't like that they're flowing in different directions. I feel like that doesn't quite match up. But the face printing tech makes her look awesome. This looks amazing. You can actually see, probably picks it up better on camera, there is like yellowing around the eyes. It's not just white. This one has white, but then this one's like got a yellowing look because she's using her lightning. So that's pretty cool. And then speaking of lightning, you get the hands with lightning attached, which looks great. Quintessential item for Storm. And then you get, these are reused from that Francine Fry Electro figure. They were in blue in that pack, but in this one they're yellow, which I think looks a lot nicer. And if I don't end up using those with this Storm, these will probably get put with Francine Fry because these look great. So yeah, they're lighter, or they're more like opaque on the out, like the tips, and then like heading out, and then the middles are more, clear. So that's nice. And then for Wolverine, you get a really, really nice looking unmasked Logan head sculpt. Really, really looks like the animation, but also you could just use this for a comic book Logan. I really like the way it looks. The mouth is not perfectly symmetrical. The eyebrows look great. The hair looks great. This is a really, really nice looking Wolverine head. And then, obviously, you get claws. It's Wolverine. You get clawed hands. These are not the style claws I like for Wolverine, but, they're claws, so you gotta use them. I know it's the animation, so it wouldn't make sense. I wish they would give us some newer claws. I don't like these style claws. I never have. They don't seem like sharp to me. They don't seem like they would do anything. I want the blade ones, the thicker ones that we got with the the Sabretooth 2-pack. Those are my favorite claws for Wolverine, so I wish we'd get those. And then yeah, so for head swaps, I'm gonna do a couple of those. Firstly, I have this Wolverine, which is still a really good figure. The yellow's a little different, but I feel like you can it's yellow, so it's not tan. This is the brown and tan costume. But I feel like, honestly, the head is enough, fine enough that if you wanted to, you could just say this is a different type of cloth, and then, because the yellows don't match up between the head anyways. It's a little smaller, but you could totally do that if you wanted to. And then with this one, I feel the same way. This one's a little big, but you could totally do that if you wanted to. And then I feel like, I forgot to show that off. So this is the head that comes on him, or comes with him in the pack. And then I have some other Wolverine heads. So I have a few Mezco Wolverine heads that I wanted to look at. And if none of these work, then that's fine. But number one, I did have this piece. This comes with the Mezco. If you wanted to, you could totally put that on there when you put the unmasked head on. Sorry, my cat is wreaking havoc. I'll be right back. He just wants attention. I'm sorry. I have a couple Mezcos, and I kind of wanted to just see, if these would fit on here. They don't quite fit the ball. If you do it hard enough, that can go on there. They're a bit big, but Mezco heads are a bit big anyway, so that's not the worst. So yeah, that one works. It's not great, but it does fit on the ball. And then I figured we'd just look at what this one looks like on there, because this is probably one of the coolest Mezco heads. Yeah, that one doesn't want to go on that well. So, not great. Sorry, here's the culprit that keeps making all the noise in the back. He's ornery. He's totally ornery. He is a little Satan, little demon child. Get out of here, boy. Alrighty. So yeah, that is all of the looks that I feel like Wolverine really needed for the head swaps. So now we're gonna put all of the figures in the back. I'm gonna put them all up there. And let me get Jean and Scott up there as well. Do Jean right there. Put Scott right here. And yeah. Okay. Gonna move in a little bit more. Alrighty, let's get these all a little bit more in line with each other. Okay, and as you can see, relative scale, I feel like that works. Wolverine's the shortest, Scott is the tallest. Jean and Aurora are about the same size. So yeah, let's get this going. So first of all, okay, he's messing with my hair. I'm sorry. First off, we're gonna start with the Mafex Jean, and we'll put her right there. And then we also have the Mafex Storm, and I have her electric hands on her. I'm sorry, I don't want to go digging through bins to put on different hands right this second. But yeah, they're shorter. They are shorter. They're still taller than the Wolverine, which is nice, but Jean especially, you can tell she's shorter and the head sizes don't match up. So yeah, these will probably this is getting replaced. This is a tough sell. I don't know if I can replace her quite yet, but who knows? Maybe my tude will change. And then we have the Mezco Cyclops, and then the Marvel Legends Jim Lee Cyclops. And for me, I still love both these figures. I think this one is shelf Cyclops for X-Men shelf. This is my Avengers shelf Cyclops because I like to blend all my... I have like Avengers, Guardians, like those types of teams. Any excess X-Men character like figures I have go on that shelf. So that Jean will probably go on that shelf, and then the other Storm will probably go on that shelf. This guy might just be my hand candy Cyclops. The guy that I play with, you know? So, yeah. Little thing about the heads on the Cyclops. This is an older one. An older Mezco, so it's kind of weird that the heads are not that big. They're actually pretty good scale, so. Next we have... This is the animated series VHS Wolverine. This is the one we just did the head swap with. And they're the same. He's the same size as the brown suit. He's just pinned, and then he has the weird shoulder pads. Those are not my comic book Wolverine shoulder pads. And then here's the X-Men 97 Madeline Pryor. I think this is the only 97 figure I have out. Yeah, I didn't grab out my Bishop or anyone like that, but she looks great. She does have heels on, keep in mind, so she's a little tall, but she looks great. And I'm cool. She's evil, so I'm cool with her being bigger than... Well, she's really not that evil, but she's also evil in the comics, so... And then, for the last X-Men, we have... I really hope this is the next one we get updated in the new wave. I can't wait for the wave after the wave we already have. I hope we get a good updated version of Beast. Sorry, my cat's... Like I said, he's being an absolute menace right now. Yeah, I hope we get like pinless and just hopefully 2 fists and 2 of this hand, and I hope we get like a pupiled eye, like chilling out, and then they'd probably do because X-Men 97's Beast's hair is a little bit different, right? I think I remember it being different. And then for another size comparison, here's the Mezco Wolverine, the best Wolverine figure in my opinion. I hope they update this costume onto this body and give it this amount of love. But yeah, he's bigger, but I still love this Wolverine. And this is what he looks like next to Scott and Jean. They look great. And then finally these are the only other animated series figures I have. So I have, this is the 90s Spider-Man figure, the symbiote suit. I don't have the classic red and blue. I hope to get that one day. But this is what he looks like. in front of Jean and Cyclops, and then Wolverine and Storm. And then for the other animated one, this is the Spider-Man Unlimited. This is what he looks like. Put him beside him, kind of. Put him over here. And then the last one, this is not from a cartoon show per se, but it's from Spider-Verse. Here's just the SV Action Sentinel Into the Spider-Verse Miles Morales. Great figure. Pick him up if you can. He's awesome. I'll put him up right there. He looks great. He's small, like he should be. He's got those wonky proportions like the cartoon has, and he looks great. So, yeah, there's my little rambling nonsense review of the new 2-packs from X-Men 97. The 2 good 2-packs. I'm sorry, that Gambit just looks awful. Maybe I'll get that pack for the Rogue and then put a cloth jacket on her, because that's just her costume without the jacket on, right? I believe. So maybe we'll see. We'll have to. That'll be a major sell for me. And then I have the whole wave of X-Men 97 wave 3. Or is it 3? Yeah, it's 3, right? Except for the casual Logan. I don't really care about that figure. It's just a reuse from the better Sabretooth 2-pack Logan. But just for the head in that, I might pick it up so I could put that on this potentially. But yeah, that's the figures. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye. Totally forgot to mention, these are still up. You can still get these. These are up for you can order them, not even pre-order. You can order them on Hasbro Pulse. They're Hasbro Pulse exclusives, so I think that's why they're up for so long. They don't have to send stock to other places. So totally pick these guys up. The Sentinel's shipping right now. I never ordered it. I wish I would have now. I just didn't have the money then, so, poor me. But that's shipping, or at least people are getting it overseas, so hopefully that'll be shipping soon. The Wave 3 is just hitting for X-Men 97. These 2-packs, and then the Gambit Rogue basketball 2-pack. If they're giving us that, I hope they at least give us the rest of those looks, if they're going to do that. And I hope they don't use any more starting lineup torsos like they did with Gambit. That's such a weird decision. But, yeah. Thanks for watching. Finally, thanks for watching. Bye, guys. Bye.